Jillian Michaels versus the body positive community. I went down the rabbit hole of actually stalking each and every one of these people. Once you start understanding their psychology and what drives them and what keeps them going, you get to understand what's keeping them trapped in this fat acceptance movement.
Would you say that it should be against the law to discriminate against people based on their body size?
Unquestionably.
So right off the bat, Jillian Michaels gives us her first claim, and that is that obesity is not healthy and pretending it is puts lives at risk. The people have 20 minutes to debate her.
3, 2, 1.
So first up, we have our girl Edie. She is an eating disorder therapist, and she's the first to get to the chair. And right off the bat, our girl Edie has to inform us that she does not want to use the O word, which is obesity, because she finds it offensive.
I'm going to do my best to not use the O word because I find it pretty offensive.
One thing you're going to pick up in this entire debate with all of these people is the fact that none of them can actually stay on the point.
So I'm going to use fat-bodied as we talk.
Okay. Overweight and obese is literally just having too much body fat.
Girl, you know I'm stalking Edie. And as soon as I went to Edie's page, her name is Edie Stark, and she's a licensed therapist, and she's anti-diet culture. And the first thing you will see as soon as I get to Edie's page is that Edie is all about the food and all about the desserts. Edie likes doing taste tests of cakes and showing her audience that, hey, have this. In fact, she's so proud of herself that she's even been reacting to what people have been saying to her about her performance on this Jubilee debate.
Clarify though, the
Are
language.
we going to pretend like I'm a 3 and you're my mommy, telling me how to talk?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning. Off the bat, for everyone who is watching, I am not showing the rest of this debate on my page because I want to protect my audience who's here on purpose from having to watch this part of the debate. You can go watch it if you want to. I'm not trying to hide what happens in this debate. You are welcome to go see it, to go watch it.
You know damn well Edie's trying to hide what happened in the debate because Edie girl, you got cooked. You got smoked, Edie girl, and that's fine. Don't try to hide it.
I'm not embarrassed about what happened in this debate. I will talk about what happens in the debate, but I'm not going to share the rest of the clip because I think that it could potentially cause some harm and that I'm not down with. And I want people to feel like they have consent into watching it.
It sounds like she's embarrassed. And it's okay to be embarrassed, Edie girl. Jillian Michaels cooked you. You got there and you just stuttered and fumbled from the moment you sat down. You completely missed the point and you went left when the conversation was going right.
People are really big mad at me. From what I've gleaned from the comments, from what people have directly said to me, from what people have left comments on my page, that I have the audacity to want to use different terminology in this debate. And I want to just give some information as to why I'm doing that. So yes, the O word is a medical term. I am not arguing that. That was not my point. I understand that, okay? Where I am coming from is as a thin person in the fat liberation movement, I am going to respect what language people who are in fat bodies in the fat liberation movement use and don't use, and use that language as I'm talking. And just because it's a medical term doesn't mean that it doesn't cause people harm. So an example, hysteria was used as a medical term to describe women for a very long time, right? And that is not cool. So it's we can evolve and we can change. And I'm going to respect the people who I work with as clients, the people who I work with as colleagues, on what they use as language and use appropriate language. And for just debating 101, it's important to get on the same page so there's not confusion that we're talking about the same thing but using different words. That's what I was trying to do. And that really upset Jillian.
Our girl Edie is some sort of medical professional, but she is avoiding the medical terminology. This is the terminology that is used within your profession. The word obesity is a medical term. And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I'm thoroughly scared for this girl's clients.
Have you heard of something called adiposopathy? Mm-hmm. And you understand how it works? Mm-hmm. Okay, tell me how it works.
So it's additional layer of fat in the stomach area.
No.
Our girl Edie clearly doesn't know why she's here or what exactly is going on, and I don't blame her. But let's go on to the next person.
If you care about people's health and you have people in front of you who are telling you that the body positivity movement, or I prefer body liberation, body justice, body acceptance, body blah, actually increases their health, then I don't understand your debate. Like, what are you debating if the fat people are telling you it makes their life better?
So up next is our girl Paula. Paula is one person we don't have to worry about too much because she doesn't last very long. Return to your seat, Paula girl.
There's randomized control trials that show
Mendelian randomized control trials that have now shown us that obesity is causal to all-cause mortality.
Okay, so I disagree with that.
Up next we have our girl Leah, who is a spiritual intuitive eating dietitian, whatever the hell any of that means. And she has her own podcast. Looking at her feed, you can tell that Leah is just living her best life and pushing her podcast, pushing her messaging more than anything. And let's see here. One thing she posted reads here, unpopular opinion from a non-diet dietitian. You don't have to love your body in order to have positive body image. Let me show you what I mean. None of that makes any sense because at the least you have to love yourself. And hating your body but having a good positive image is literally contradictory. I don't even want to dive deeper into this. And what makes me mad about people like Leah is the fact that she is skinny. Leah is not even fat, but she's encouraging people who do need to change their ways to remain the same. This is worrying because if this is a girl who's saying let's all die together, that's a different story. But she is saying all of y'all over there can die and I will continue sitting here with my feet crossed because you know damn well her target audience cannot sit like this. They cannot cross their feet. And from Leah onwards, we begin to see a constant elevation of emotion in the body positivity side in this debate. Imagine being the person who was Leah's lecturer while she was studying and now you see her spreading all this misinformation and you're thinking to yourself, what have I done?
My next surrounded claim is that the large food companies are one of the primary beneficiaries of the body positivity movement.
3, 2, 1.
Hi. How are you? I'm Chiffon.
Nice to meet you, Chiffon.
Up next, we have our girl Chiffon, who is a plus-size bridal inspiration blogger or influencer. And one thing I realized while going through Chiffon's social media is that Chiffon's business, her being this plus-size bridal inspiration blogger, being featured in the LA Times, all of that, everything about her is dependent on her accepting the fat. The moment she stops accepting the fat, her income literally gets affected. So our girl has something to lose by not agreeing with this delusional rhetoric.
And of course they're gonna use the fucking movement.
And these guys essentially are engineering food to be addictive.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I will give you the claps on that. I will say yes. That is true.
I mean, what else can I say about Chiffon? Chiffon came here to clock Julian Michaels and clock her she did.
So I really want to focus on what you've just been saying about the co-opting of the movement.
So now our girl Tigress is up next, and going on her social media, her bio straight up says fat liberation, fat audacity, and fat community. Our girl is proud and she is a clear supporter of the movement that she pushes. Even going on her social media, you can see that her posts alone, I mean, she has a post here that says fat is not a bad word. It is not synonymous with ugly, lazy, unattractive, disgusting, or unhealthy. It's just another adjective to describe how you look. Stop putting stigma to fat. Fat means fat, nothing more, nothing less. Our girl is clearly a supporter of the movement of which she is supporting on this video.
I have been around fat community in one way or another for about 2 decades now, through plus size fashion, through plus size nightlife, through size acceptance, fat activism, body positivity, you know, whatever the label that you put on it. I've been around for a couple decades. And in all of these years of being around these communities and trying to be in solidarity across different identities with other fat folks, I cannot believe that in 2026, we still have to stop people from saying fat people are the last group of people that get discriminated against. No, we are not. No, we are not. Just, do you live on Earth? Do you live on Earth?
So just from going through her social media, you can see that our girl Tigress is thoroughly living her best life. Our girl is clearly a very big activist in this movement.
Hi everyone, it's Tamara Lamise, your favorite social media director of NAFA, the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, and we're here live at FatCon 2026 in Seattle, Washington. Opening ceremonies is just about to start, so I will tune in with you soon.
Y'all, this girl can barely even breathe, y'all. This girl can barely even breathe. You can hear that she's struggling there. Not a lot of movement is happening up in here. Them walking into the damn conference room is the most amount of movement they're going to come across. And what are they selling here? I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Let's get back to the Jubilee debate. Our girl Tigress is an executive director of the NAFA official movement. So the National Fat Acceptance, whatever, Association. I don't know what the hell that stands for. I don't want to know what it stands for. But it's clear that our girl is not changing her opinion anytime soon because her opinion pays her bills.
What you seem to be critiquing is the people who've co-opted the movement, not the people who actually built the movement.
At some point, the argument between Jillian Michaels and our girl Tigress starts to just evaporate and it starts going left. And it's clear that this is not getting anywhere. So who is going to be our girlie's savior in this debate? Who's going to step up and try save everybody and try bring this whole entire debate back on track? Because it's clear that it's gone completely off track.
But it's health at every size, not healthy at every size. And you've misspoken that just a couple times.
Our girl Edie is that person. Now it's time for Jillian's next claim.
My next surrounded claim is that the body positivity movement oversimplifies disordered eating and trauma.
2, 1.
It's very clear that nobody wanted to debate this claim.
Hi.
I'm Summer. How are you?
Jillian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So up next we have our girl Sama who gives us a fresh take on nothing.
Understand why you would feel the need to fight for people that are arguing for that person to feel validated as a person.
I've been on a diet since I was like 6.
Up next is our girl Marcy Guevara, who is arguing for her life. Marcy's a body positive influencer and she's doing pretty well for herself on social media.
One of the most important things that has come out of this surrounded experience for me is just how much we need to be talking. We all need to be talking, y'all. You need to have people in your life that have a different point of view. If it's a coworker, if it's a friend, if you can't be friends with somebody like that right now, I understand that, but be having conversations with people that think and look differently than you do. I promise you, it is how you learn. It is how you get educated. It is how you can experience a fuller version of the truth. Right now, we are living in a time where our country is so divided.
It is very clear that our girl Marcy from this debate has taken away something. As much as she was arguing for her life, she's taken away something.
Do you want to take on genetics? We can.
Go ahead. Are you a scientist?
Asking Jillian whether or not she's a scientist in order to talk about genetics is like expecting me to be fat in order to talk about fat acceptance. The crazy part is I can't help but just like Marcy. Marcy truly seems like such a freaking vibe.
Obesity is a very outdated term. It's based on the BMI, which is based on white men.
It's very clear that our girl Marcy thinks that she might have big bones.
MRI, meaning like the machine most fat people don't even fit in.
And you
I've
have
never heard of
wasted
that,
hip.
girl. What's a DEXA?
DEXA. My final surrounded claim is that the body positivity movement is fundamentally disempowering.
Please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, Zane.
So up next, our boy Zane has entered the chat. He's our first guy to enter the ring. He's all about health, wellness, and nutrition. And he's on a weight loss journey. He's a Spartan athlete. He's passionate about medicine. And he's a spinning with the flow star. I mean, this guy's lost quite a bit of weight. He lost 85 pounds. That is crazy. I'm so proud of him. Why would a guy like this be all about fat acceptance? It's clear that he's got the guns. He's pushing. He's trying to change his life. I'm very confused. Why would he be on here supporting this? Let's watch and find out.
At my biggest, I was 335, and body positivity has given me the confidence to, in my opinion, appropriately lose weight because I've lost 80 pounds.
I think it's safe to say that Zayn is not the person who's going to save the body positivity argument side of this debate. On to the next one.
Hi, Solstice.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
Okay, our girl Solstice's Instagram is not linked in the description, but let's hear what she has to say. Hopefully she's the one to save the movement in this debate.
You can't change yourself. You can't go into changing yourself from the expectation that that will make you feel better about anything.
So one thing about our girl Solstice's argument, she is not a believer of self-improvement. They all think that improving yourself is a negative thing.
And I don't think that our choices to make changes about ourselves reflect more self-love necessarily.
It's such a weird way of thinking, because in every other aspect of life, improving in that matters. But when it comes to your body, the one body you're born with in this world, improving it is not an act of self-love. It's an act of self-hate, according to them. Our girl Solstice obviously failed, so it's on to the next person.
I'm curious about what your definition of body positivity is, because you're talking about shame and you're talking about personal feelings and emotion, and I have a little bit different of a definition of body positivity.
Some of yours.
So our girl Tigress has re-entered the ring, and she's here to educate Jillian and ourselves about what her definition of body positivity is.
It's actually also about things like, do I have access to healthcare, weight neutral healthcare that actually treats my symptoms, not just my body, right? Do I have access to equal pay? Do I have accommodations for the body that I'm in right now?
So our girl Tigress is trying to break down how environmental and societal factors affect someone becoming overweight. She is absolutely correct in that there are environmental and societal factors, but unfortunately, acting like you have absolutely no control. The factors are what they are. You're a victim in this body and you cannot do anything about it. That mindset unfortunately keeps a person in this way of thinking, and it's very clear that our girl Tigress, because this movement pays her bills, she cannot change her view. Even if she wanted to, she cannot.
Hi, my name is Rachel.
Nice to meet you, Rachel.
Up next, we have our girl Rachel. Rachel is a personal trainer, which is not surprising, but what is surprising is the fact that she's a personal trainer who is not fat and supporting the body positivity movement, or rather, the fat acceptance movement.
I'm a personal trainer. I would consider myself an advocate for the body positivity movement, not particularly an activist, but somebody who supports all bodies being in the fitness industry.
I checked out Rachel's social media. This girl literally has nothing about body positivity, about what she does on her social media. It's just a personal page. She's showing her family, her baby, which I'm not gonna show.
I'm trying to show you. Shame is the internalization of not being good enough, right?
Have you ever been in a bigger body?
Yeah, I was 175 pounds at 13, 5 feet tall.
I also was overweight previously.
One thing I came to terms with very quickly is the fact that Rachel is not the person to save the fat acceptance side of this argument.
You have to love yourself. You have to invite love into the space.
How?
By looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, I'm beautiful.
You can't just look at yourself in the mirror and say a beautiful spell in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, and suddenly you're gonna transform into the people from the uglies. I'm not gonna just look in the mirror and say I'm beautiful 3 times and turn into Laverne Cox. It's not gonna happen. You have to put in the work into loving yourself. Loving yourself means doing things that might make you uncomfortable now in the moment, but you have to do them until you start looking in the mirror and saying, I am worth it. As long as you don't see yourself as worth it, you can never love yourself, unfortunately. And as long as you're not taking care of yourself, you can never see yourself as worth it.
Positive affirmations, like how we speak.
Positive affirmations, like dealing with a bullet wound.
Our girl Rachel thinks that positive affirmations are going to take away the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the chronic back pain and knee pain. Just look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, and everything's going to go right away. It was very apparent to me that Rachel was not the girl. So Jubilee went ahead and turned the tables around and allowed our fat acceptance crowd to come with their own claim.
My surrounded claim is that shame is far more dangerous than body positivity.
So one thing I can agree with when it comes to Marcy's claim is that shame is harmful. For some people, shame works. For myself, shame worked. When my mom was like, you're getting kind of big, boy, none of the interactions I had with these people were shameful interactions. None of them were shaming me. They were just pointing out something about me, but I perceived it as shame because I had that shame internalized within me. One thing about shame is that it's internalized. It's because you're already feeling that way, and someone pointing it out just perpetuates that negative thought you have about yourself, and it makes you think that this person's attacking me, when in reality they're just pointing out and observing. Look, the end of this debate is just Marcy kind of trauma dumping on us.
I think we have turned to body positivity because of the shame.
And as she trauma dumps, we get to understand more and more what is exactly going within her mind, why exactly she is such a big proponent and such a big supporter of the fat acceptance movement. I want to prepare you, because at this point is where the debate goes absolutely mental.
Tell me that I need to shrink myself, that there's a thin woman within waiting to get out.
Can I say
And Marcy starts unveiling exactly why she wanted to discuss this topic.
something?
I think I ate her.
Can I say something?
I don't think
Can I
she's
say
here.
something?
My mind
Yes.
said, should I go on a GLP-1? Should I go on a GLP-1? Should I go on a GLP-1? Would you call that food noise? What do you call that?
You tell me.
I call it fucked up. I can fuck anybody on the street.
So our girl Marcy tried to relate things back to Jillian's show from the early 2000s, The Biggest Loser. I have personally never watched a full episode of The Biggest Loser. Growing up, I was never really fat. I only became fat in my 20s. So for me, that stuff was never really interesting to me. But whenever I did see glimpses of the show, it always seemed like, whoa, like losing weight is this? It looked extreme. Whenever I see the throw forwards, these people had to lose so much weight. They were given such ridiculous goals. And that I always thought to myself, damn, like this is crazy. Losing weight must mean you hate yourself because it takes so much effort. It takes so much out of you. I don't blame Marcy for having this perspective when it comes to Jillian as well.
Stop making it about the world. Because if you cannot stop, listen, you can't change the world. But what we can change is how we respond to the world.
This argument, this opinion that these people have is not going to change. And what I love about this debate is nobody's expecting anybody to change. It's people exposing themselves to different opinions and trying to meet at a middle ground, even though there is no middle ground in this conversation, I think. I enjoyed this very much. I believe there's a part 2 of this. Please let me know in the comments what you think of all the characters. It took me quite a bit to get my video out, simply because I wanted to give you guys a different perspective. I just wanted us to learn a bit more about the individuals as people and get to understand why exactly they think this way. Marcy, for example, owns a plus-size clothing store. So that makes it very apparent to us that Marcy cannot change her opinion because it affects her bread. If she changes her opinion, she has to change her business as well. If you watched until the end and you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. Don't forget to follow me on social media at mash_IIE. And let's keep this conversation going in the comments. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.